I got to tell one story. 2013, we all know the gut-wrenching defeat to Miami and the impact that it had on our team. And that summer, I remember I had that office looking out, and here'd be Tim and Manu sitting over on the floor just crying, never dreaming that they were going to have a chance to play for a championship again, to get so close in Game 6 and then to not have it happen. And then we come back the next year, Pop's brilliance of getting the team out of the framework. We sat in the film room and watched the entire Game 6 for 4 hours, the very first day of practice. And Pop said, we're going to watch it now. We're going to see how there wasn't one play at the end or any time during it that was a deciding factor of what made that game unsuccessful. We all had the opportunity throughout that game to make a play that would have changed the course of the game, and it didn't happen. And now we're not going to talk about it ever again. And all through the year, people wanted to talk about what happened and, you know, how did you lose that Game 6? We didn't talk about it. So we come back to the finals the next year, and we get to play Miami again. And Pop walks out of that door, and we always huddled under this basket. And he goes, Patty, can you tell us what today is? And Patty Mills from Australia, the first Aboriginal Australian, looks at him with a strange voice and says, Pop, what do you mean? It's Game 1 of the finals. It's Miami Heat. Let's go. And Pop goes, what else is it? And Patty gave him a strange look, and Pop goes, isn't it Eddie Mabo Day? And Eddie Mabo was the first indigenous Australian to legally get the right to own land, and a very important person in Patty's community. And so Patty proceeded to tell the team for about 20 minutes how Eddie Mabo, his story. Patty's mother was an Aboriginal Australian. Patty's father was a Torres Strait Islander. And Eddie Mabo was a Tory Islander, and also he was like Patty's fourth uncle, twice removed or something. But he was incredibly emotional about that. And when you can come together as a team and face hard challenges and really get to know each other as people and share experiences and grow as humans and not just as players, that's when real trust and respect and love happens. And if you remember, we didn't come out here and figure out how we were going to guard LeBron James or Dwayne Wade or any of them. We came out that series and we played the greatest basketball our team has ever played. We beat them in 5 games. They broke their team up because we just destroyed them. And I think those are the type of memories we hope to carry forward for the future of our youth, to see how you can grow from facing adversity. So the programming, the activation, as we go forward for years to come, I think will evolve similarly to the way our team and our organizations evolve. But I'm so excited to get started, to carry the values of character, selfless, and pound the rock forward. So, Patricia, I know, I'm sorry, that was too long.
To continue, we're going to make this as so we're going to ask that you take a little walk with us back and go into the locker room, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to talk a little bit about the history, but really talk about what the future is as well with Ann. So I welcome you to do that.
to spend time and grow together. But the ones who have been here have been the biggest parts of our history. And the ability to face hard challenges, to have hard conversations, to grow together. I'll never forget, these two lockers, Tim had the corner of two lockers, and it was always a mess. Not the tidiest guy ever. But we loved it as a mess because one day I came in and it was empty. And I was like, oh no, he cleaned out his locker. That must mean he's retiring. And that was how he told us, was he cleaned out his locker. But this is a place where hard conversations happen, where teammates love each other, whether they get angry together at each other and across the teams and the players. They tell stories, they're talking about their families, and I think we're excited to see what new stories can be, and what important challenges can be faced in the locker room. And please, will you talk? Thank you. You can say this better.
So thank you for the introduction, RC. Thank you for everyone who's here today. My name is Ann Harrison. I am a first grade teacher at Randolph Field Elementary School. Woo! As a proud Indianapolis native and a lifelong Pacers fan, someone who even once served on their Grant Foundation board, I never imagined that I'd find myself in a space that would move me so deeply as the time that I got to spend in this locker room this summer. Yet stepping into this space where Coach Popovich and the Spurs built their championship culture was nothing short of awe-inspiring. These halls aren't just steeped in basketball history, They radiate a spirit of excellence, discipline, and unity. The Spurs Impact Center is much more than a tribute to greatness. It's a living, breathing resource for our community. It invites athletes, students, families, and dreamers to tap into the same energy that built something meaningful in this place. This is a place where legacy meets possibility. Sometimes as teachers, we pour all ourselves into our students and into our schools. We give our best to them. Teaching can sometimes feel like an all-encompassing feat. The quest for the next goal, the next breakthrough, or a student who's struggling, it can take everything from you. When I applied to the Spurs Leadership Institute cohort, I had no idea how much was going to be poured into me through this experience. As I mentioned, I took part in the SCLI teacher cohort last season. This program was built entirely around supporting educators. It was tailored to our needs and designed to empower us to reach our goals inside and outside the classroom. As a participant in this experience that was so transformational, I got so many valuable insights from both my fellow participants, I have Eric today, and from all the incredible Spurs staff. We spent time building networks, building teams, and bonding with each other as teachers from all over South Texas. There was so much common ground, electric educational energy, and a really special synergy that we had in our cohort. But it wasn't just educational, it was also emotional. A personal journey that taught me how to be a better leader and how to contribute through growing in service and in community. As Archie shared, this room welcomes vulnerability and authenticity. And in the same way this room fostered this relationship between the players, it also provided that for myself and the other SCLI teacher cohorts. Sprinkled through our introspective work, our cohort was exposed to this literal space where championships were planned, challenges were analyzed, and because of the grit and hard work and the drive to be the best team possible, 5 NBA championships were won. While we were in this Impact Center, we closed our time in this very locker room with a gratitude circle over the Spurs carpet that you see here in front of you. I actually stood here where Wendy's locker used to be. And we shared our appreciation for not only the work that we do, but our frustrations, our fears, and ultimately learning how to lean on each other in order to continue serving our students. It was a really powerful moment that embodied exactly what this space is built for: closeness and connection. And that's exactly why the Spurs are hoping to give this back to the community as a sacred space to foster collaboration and care. I am beyond honored to be one of the first participants to access this game-changing resource that the Spurs are now giving through this building, and I am so excited for its future. This space helped shape champions, and now it will shape future leaders. Thank you to everyone here, especially my husband, who is the most supportive classroom volunteer ever. My Randolph Elementary School staff and every whiz kid that I've ever taught. These are bracelets that are actually made by my students I wear because they are the reason I do this. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I can't wait to see what comes next in this facility, a place where legacy meets infinite possibilities. Thank you so much, Anne. Now you can see why the story comes so much better from somebody who's really felt and benefited from this. Thank you, Anne, for sharing. We'll now move over to the film room.
She's now a Spurs fan, by the way.
I know.
Right into the immediate.
You don't get to get seated too. Feel free to sit down. First dibs on the chairs, whoever gets them first.
For sure. Here. Somebody wants to go on that side, somebody can go on that side.
Yeah, I have, I never.
This room was really where the biggest decisions in the course of our time together were built. And as you'll see, when you, coaching staff, medical staff, front office, when we got ready to have a draft night, make a decision on free agency or trade, this is where we all came together. As our teams got older and you didn't want Tim, Tony, and Manu out on the court, or Michael Finley and Bruce Bowen and Robert Ory wearing themselves out, we did a crazy amount of teaching on this board. Sitting in Tim's chair, you better not let him see you there. No, but it was interesting to see how over the course of time, Pop, Tim, everybody had their own little space, and so many of the learnings together happened here. Again, that was a place of safety. This is where we really got down and dirty in the discussions about hard things. Who are we going to draft? I'll never forget, we get a draft pick with Dwan Blair, and Dwan had fallen from, we had him in the top 15 players in the draft to number 36 where we had to pick. And we got him. He ended up having a really good set of years with us. But Pop, his daughter was getting married that weekend, and he was in Maine, so he wasn't here for the draft. And he's on the phone with me, and the TV was beating Dwan up because he was only 6'5". And so I talked to Pop and asked him, how'd Dwan sound on the phone? He sounded 6'5". So, but there were a lot of fun in here. There were a lot of hard times, and we can't wait to see the vision that can happen when we come together and really face tough challenges. So, Sonia, please.
Thank you, RC. Thank you. I'm Sonia Medina Williams. I'm President and CEO of Reach Resilience. We're a national foundation that helps community in crisis. I also serve on the Spurs Give board. It's great to see some fellow Spurs Give board members in here with us. And I'm also a fanatic Spurs fan along with my family, so it's really a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. You know, look, the Spurs are truly a one-on-one. We all know that. Not just in how they win, but in how they lead. In a league where there's constant change, we all know the San Antonio Spurs had one head coach for nearly 3 decades. They've built teams from every corner of the globe, proving that diversity is strength, not just a slogan. And even in one of NBA's smallest markets, they have forged a global footprint. And it's really been based on trust, culture, and community. And that's why we're all here today. That spirit championed and led by Peter and RC and the entire organization is why the Impact Center marks the next chapter of the Spurs story. Thanks to Patricia and her team, you all have brought this bold vision into a reality, and you're going to show San Antonio and really the entire nation what it means to really have true community impact from a public-private partnership. And within these walls, as Ann mentioned, grit became greatness and decisions became legacy. And today, we are honored to open them to the community that has stood with this team through seasons. Under the leadership of the Spurs, when this vision is fully realized, these courts will connect communities across zip codes, where games spark connection and mentors help dreams come true. Friendships forged here won't just inspire hope, or even share like a social media account or a cell phone number. Friendships will open doors to lasting economic opportunity, something our city urgently needs. Right now in San Antonio, only about 9% of children from low-income families reach the highest income tier as adults. And what this means is that San Antonio has one of the lowest upward mobility rates in the nation. In these meeting rooms that you see around the facility, parents will find relief and empowerment with mental health support, job training, resources that will strengthen their families. And in this film room, leaders will gather, youth will gather, listening to voices that challenge, learning new technologies, and igniting ideas capable of reshaping our city. Every young person that walks through these doors will leave with more than skills for sport. Here, they will gain values, confidence, and vision to set them up for success in life. And I believe with absolute conviction, what happens here will not only change lives, RC, but will save them. And now I want to share a personal story that happened right here in this room. For the full potential of this beautiful facility we're in today. Last summer, which actually was only a couple months ago, my 13-year-old son, AAU basketball team, 9 boys from every corner of the city, some coming from places where opportunity is scarce and challenges are great. They were preparing for a national tournament in Orlando. And they wanted to practice more. They wanted to get some more practices in. And the courts were limited in San Antonio. And so being on the Spurs Give board, knowing Patricia, knowing this beautiful facility was here, I called Patricia and Julie, and they said, absolutely. And they connected me with the amazing Yolanda. And I don't know where Yolanda is, but she's a true rock star. And what the Spurs did for this little AAU boys team, 13-year-old boys, is they not only unlocked the doors to this facility so they could practice, but they changed their lives in a very powerful way. Prior to the training, Yolanda invited the whole team, 9 boys, 9 13-year-old boys, to come and sit in here and to have some time with some Spurs coaches. Again, this same space, like RC mentioned, was where Pop once spoke to championship teams about focus, about discipline, and about teamwork. So here you have 3 Spurs coaches who took the time out of their schedule to speak with 9 13-year-old boys, not about plays or drills, but about lessons on character, leading when no one is watching and showing respect when the game is not going your way. One player on the team who came from a difficult background, leaving him without a really steady role model in his life, and always had a issue with attitude, with temper, and in his presence on the court. And he really struggled a lot. He was talented beyond measure, but really lacked that inner compass. I'm sure all of us know a child somewhere in the world like this. That afternoon, in those same chairs right here where NBA champions once sat, that young player was transformed. He sat actually right there. Upright, eyes locked, absorbing every word as if it was oxygen. His hands were literally in fists, sitting upright. Quite frankly, for 35 minutes, I don't think he even blinked. Something changed in him. The team went on to Orlando and played well. They played well. They survived. But the real victory wasn't on the scoreboard. The real victory was at the end of the tournament when I overheard the coach in the huddle praising the maturity and growth of this young man. That transformation wasn't by chance. Many of those boys had never been to a Spurs game. They certainly had never played on a Spurs court, and never had the opportunity to get advice from a Spurs coach. This is just one story of how 1 hour here impacted the life of a little boy, and I have great news to tell you. We play with this little boy every weekend, so we've played tournaments since Orlando, and this past weekend, there was a big tournament, and the coach announced among the huddle of the boys and the parents that this little boy had come to the coach this weekend and said, "Coach, I'm a new," and he said his name, "I'm really a new person." And it all started right here in this room. You can't be what you can't see, and we need to remember that as we uproot this facility. The Spurs have always been more than a sports team. They are the soul of our city, and they give us a shared identity, a reason to come together across differences, as Ann mentioned, in moments of celebration and challenges. And I wasn't planning to say it, but I'm gonna say it because there's a lot of important people in this room. But a professional team in our city, like the NBA San Antonio Spurs, doesn't just win games for us. It drives jobs, it sparks tourism, it funds scholarship and youth programs, it fuels local businesses, it supports our nonprofits, and most importantly, it puts our city on a national and global stage. This is an asset we can't take for granted. And because of the enormous compassionate heart of Peter Holt, Lauren Kate, your entire whole family, and RC, here we are today where we're gonna have the chance of a lifetime to turn championship history into community victory. To every investor, every partner, every board member, every potential investor, to the community, thank you. This is a movement that we need to stand strong behind. Thank you, RC.
Absolutely incredible. That shows that this is much, much bigger than basketball. Each of you were invited here because of your partnership that you've already had with us or that we're hoping to extend to you. Each of these rooms, as described, we want to use for so many different purposes. Not just for young people, but all the people that care for them, from access to technology, from access to healthcare. We really want to think through what are the challenges that face this community and how can basketball really step in to use a brand, to use this incredible sport in a way that can really make meaningful change. I'm really, really grateful for the time that you've put into here. I also want to point out, just as a moment of privilege, there is a nonprofit outside that I think really does show what we're hoping to do. It's one partnership that we're hoping to really solidify. They want to do workforce development opportunities here. If you haven't met them, you should. They're called Slow Boogie. They're based on the east side. They are one of our arena neighbors. And they really work with young people, trying to give them access to workforce development opportunities. They want to have that in these spaces. And you can imagine, as a young person who's not really sure how to serve floats, they're using that opportunity to serve root beer floats to really change people's lives, and they'll do that in these seats. Thank you again for being here. We welcome you to kind of look around, make this your home as well. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Either at the podium or right here if that's cool. Yeah, if this works, we'll get Patricia over here and then I'll see if we can get on.
This is what we got. Oh, wow.
Hey, Carlos. I'm gonna grab you over here with Miss Liberty. Did you have fun?
Going to do this or not? Want to use it?
No. Is it better not to be on the speakers? What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't think we need it. I
We
think
can take it out of the speakers.
No, because he's only speaking media. So yeah, thank you. Any mic clips or mic packs? No. Okay.
All right, so we're first.
Do you want me to get this first or?
We're gonna do that first.
Appreciate it.
so much.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Mic check.
Good position?
Yeah.
Okay.
It works. All right, y'all ready? Yep. Good. All right, just so we have it, first, last name, and title.
Peter Holt, managing partner at Spurs.
All right, Peter, just talk about what the announcement is today.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting day. We are transforming our old practice facility here at 1 Spurs Lane into a community center, Spurs Impact Center, and the initial contribution will be $10 million from our ownership group plus key partners to transform this amazing space that's been the soul and the heart and the backbone of all of our success, and focused on positive community impact, and we're thrilled about it.
What are some of the things that will be happening here once it's all finished and whatnot?
Yeah, I think that first we want to spend some time learning what the community really needs, but our foundation on community impact has always been around youth and youth progress, youth opportunities, youth development, youth sports, and we think we can accomplish a lot here with that, especially with some activations with the Positive Coaching Alliance, things that Brett Brown has already been doing with helping coaches learn and develop and grow so that we can have a multiplier effect there. We definitely want to open the space. It's a great gym space, so have just a very safe and reliable place for youth organizations to come play and practice and have games, and then around there partner with community organizations to see how we can help kids and their families grow, inspired to be the next leaders of the world.
What would be some of the, physical changes to the building?
Yeah, I mean, there's a good amount of housekeeping. For example, this was mostly men here, so we have to add more women's bathrooms, for example, change the roof. There's a pool in the back we got to fix and probably shut down for the safety issues. And then, as you can tell in the building, it was really focused around, the court, and then everything else was kind of private around there, and so we want to open some of that up so that there is still safe and private space to do mental health counseling or one-on-ones, but have it a little bit more open. And so the kind of final plans are coming together, and we'll start that process next month or so.
And do you have a timeline of when you expect it all to be kind of open to the public?
Yeah, well, it's kind of crazy. We're trying to rebuild the engine while the car is still driving. So it's open now. We're actually doing activations. We did a bunch of our Spurs sports camps this past summer. We did those here. We're doing some academies, and so we're going to try to actually remodel a good amount of it while still keeping it open for certain activations. But I think it'll take about a year for everything to be totally done.
Peter, I wondered if you could speak at all to the timing
Prop B. And I'm wondering if this unveiling happening now, all the programming that you described that could take place, if that's kind of part of the effort to convince voters and the community to invest back.
Oh no, this has been a plan and in the works for I think Patricia said about a year, and so we finally have the kind of proposal on how much it's going to cost to remodel it, and we developed our funding plan, which is dollars from our ownership group plus key stakeholders, and that finalized 3 weeks ago. And so this was just the normal cadence of our planning. So, regardless of the vote, we're going to keep doing what the Spurs do, and being a positive influence on the community. Our home openers tomorrow. We're going to play the games and have our community excited, no matter what's going on with the election or not. All right, thanks so much.
Great. I'm going to grab Patricia in here, and then.
Oh, yeah. He's ready to go. Oh, okay.
There's no mic up, so you can grab.
Oh, no, I'm okay. Thank you so much.
Hello. Hi, Peter. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi,
Carlos. Okay.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
What's your 8-ball tattoo? Is it like Star Wars?
It's
an apple.
It's an
Oh,
apple
I
and an
see it
8-ball
now.
together, yeah.
Ah.
My buddy in Los Angeles came up with
pretty
that.
cool.
Yes, sir.
You want me to hold this?
Oh, I'll give that to him. You relax.
Would you mind taking a small step this way?
Towards you? Or this way? All right, yeah.
That's beautiful. I love it.
If you wouldn't mind just facing.
Yeah, look at her. Gotcha.
Ready? All right, so there's a flyer that's going around right before Election Day. So is there anything on this flyer that you want to address that may be untrue?
Yeah, I think there's some unfortunate information that's out there that doesn't resonate with the facts as we know it today. I think the first one is just the taxes. The fact is that we've had a public-private partnership with the county for 25 years, and it's worked tremendously successful. It's been beneficial to the community. Extend that. This is not a tax on Bexar County residents. This is a tax that's paid for by visitors, hotel, motel, and rental car. It's as clear as day. It's worked for 25 years, and any information that says this is going to be a tax on San Antonians or people that live in Bexar County is simply false.
And now some people in San Antonio, they're concerned because they've heard this before with other taxes. So is there any potential that residents here will have to pay out of pocket for this for property?
Absolutely not. The only chance is if you go rent a car or if you stay in a hotel. And so 99.999% of the revenue that's used in this county election of the venue tax is levied, is handled by tourists, visitors to our community. And so that's absolutely clear as day. It's in state legislature, the state law. That's how it works. And then the other thing is that that money cannot be used for anything else. I think there are two important distinctions that need to be cleared up. One is who gets taxed, which is visitors, and then the second one is how can those taxes be used? And those taxes are absolutely restricted to these types of projects. They can't be used for roads or public safety or libraries or other uses. Those are great causes, but these are restricted funds taxed on visitors.
And why do you think that some people are opposed to Prop B?
I think that in general, I think people, especially in the economic environment that we're in now, are confused by information they're seeing, and they think, man, I'm hearing all this stuff about tariffs and about inflation and milk costs more, and golly, I don't want to have to pay more for an arena. And the fact is, you won't. You won't have to pay more. This is going to be paid by from visitors, and I think that's really needs to be cleared up. The other thing that I don't think has been talked about enough is the amount of benefit that the community will directly receive because of this project. So once this project is complete, our projections say there's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars of new sales tax created that will go to general funding. It can be used for streets and roads and police and fire and all the things our community needs. That is new money that's not there today. The other thing is that the property taxes that go to the school districts will increase because of this project. And so I think that's really important too, is that our education system that badly needs funding will get more funding because of this project.
And then one of the things on the flyer is that this Prop B is a $3 billion tax giveaway. So can you elaborate on that issue right there?
Yeah, I'm confused by that, quite honestly. The structure we have right now is $300 million from the county and then $489 million from the city, which comes from state visitor taxes, plus some property development increases that we're committing to. That's the public funding from this. It's not on local taxes. And when I do the math on that, that's about $800 million, not $3 billion. And then we're committing $500 million to the arena and then over $1 billion to the project around it. And so if you look at the investment, I think it's more than fair. We're paying our fair share, and our partners are paying their fair share, which is how a public-private partnership has worked greatly in the past, how it works for 90% of the other sports arenas in the U.S., and I think how it should work for the community is we're a community that believes in helping each other and collaborating together, and this formula has worked and will work even more in this new project.
Okay, and I won't keep you too much longer. Can we talk about the independent study? Was this independent? Can it be considered an independent study if it was paid for by Spurs dollars?
Yeah. So the way that the economic study was done was before it even got to the county or the city, we wanted to do our due diligence, and so we did an economic analysis. Is it worth putting our money into this? And so that feedback came back. Not only was it tremendous positive return on investment for us, but we saw, wow, there's all these other benefits for the community, tangible and intangible, like sales tax revenue increases that we project. So we did ours, clearly paid by for us. Then the city of San Antonio put out a request for proposal like they normally do, and they selected a firm, a nationally recognized firm called CSL, and that firm did their study on numerous parts of the project and then looked at our numbers and other economic analysis numbers for a new arena and sports district around it and said, yeah, that ROI is there. And so I think that provides tremendous positive validation to the return that's out there. By the way, that's the same firm that did Philadelphia, that's done Cleveland, did Sacramento. I mean, if you look up CSL, they're known for doing the vast majority of this economic analysis. And what I would say is, I think there's going to be even more that happens throughout this process. One of them is that the city will have to go and issue bonds for this project. That'll be one of the most ultimate economic analysis, because the market will say, do I want to buy your bonds? And the only way they get returned is if this project is successful. And so we look forward to testing our numbers. We think there's already been 2 great studies done on it, and there's really robust information and for the Spurs alike.
And if Prop B does not pass, I know you've been asked this a million times,
yeah,
will the Spurs possibly leave San Antonio?
We're just not focused on past Prop B. You know, we're going day by day. You know, we're in a building here that the ethos is Pound the Rock, and Pound the Rock doesn't start the season talking about championships. It talks about what's the next practice, what's the next game. We're having that same philosophy here. So we're going day by day and trying to communicate with voters, communicate with the public on what the facts are, and we think it's going to be really positive.
And is there anything you want to address about the chiller plant?
Yeah, I think that there's some confusion around a major infrastructure project and how that's being attached to our project. The chiller plant is on the other side of the convention center from our project. And so if it has to be moved or upgraded, maybe it does, but that has nothing to do with our arena. Our arena and our sports and entertainment district can be built without having to mess with the chiller plant. That's our assessment, and I would just encourage people, if they don't believe it, to drive downtown and see where the Hemisphere site is and where the chiller plant is, and they can test my theory if it has to be moved for our arena, because it's in a completely different location.
Thank you. Is there anything else you want to address today?
That's it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did you need the speak or did you want me to get some? Because I think that may be your like.
Some B-roll, and then like I don't know if you're getting called someone else. I'll probably just give you mine and swap the insert, so you can have a fresh one. Oh shit.